Hi, and welcome to our EDSC 590 Research and Special Education course. What I'm going to do today is give you all a little overview of how the course works in Blackboard. So that way, from the get-go, you can be very familiar with how to use the different elements we have in the course. What we're looking at now is I've clicked on the home page, and you see the home page with EDSC 590. And you basically see an important thing here are the announcements, what's going to be due, and then any alerts or needs attention, that type of thing. The most important thing on this page for you, though, are the announcements that I'll post at least once a week. If you click on here, the second tab, Meet the Instructor, this gives you some valuable information here. That's me. It gives you my email and phone contact as well as my office location in case you want to meet with me. In terms of contacting me, you can contact me either by email or phone, but email is usually the best contact. If you call my office phone, especially during the summer, it will give you my cell phone, and please feel free to call my cell phone at any time. You can come and meet with me in my office if you'd like to set up an appointment, but I can also meet with you via Blackboard Collaborate, and I'll show you how to access that in just a few minutes. So we could meet digitally as well. And like I said, I don't mind talking by phone either, so any of those work. This here is a little introduction about myself. Um, if you watch this as well as the current screencast that I'm making, then you have a chance to take an extra credit quiz and earn some points to your final grade. And that's just my way of hoping that you learn a little bit about me and you watch this introduction to the course. Okay, but you can earn some extra credits by doing it. Okay, after Meet the Instructor is the Syllabus and Expectations tab, which is really important. Okay, and this tab, if you click on here, it's a Word document, which goes just over general expectations for this online course this summer semester. If you click on the second one, this document is also a Word document, but it has the entire syllabus. Now, I'm not going to click on that document, even though it's really valuable, because this is a tabbed version of the syllabus, so it's the same thing as this version. This version is just a Word document version. But this one's actually embedded in Blackboard. And it has all important information you need to know about the course this summer. So it'll have our course, the name of our course, the section number, what semester it is. But most importantly, it'll have what we'll be doing this semester. So it tells you the required text, which is the Macmillan Fundamentals of Educational Research text, the 7th edition, and I would really recommend having the most current edition of this textbook. It also tells you to have an APA manual. That is really important in this course because it is the one course where I'll be checking your APA pretty extensively because it is a research course. This also talks about general description of the course and the course catalog, which basically, hopefully, you're gathering expertise at doing special education research or really any type of educational research by taking this class. And of course, there's no prerequisites for this course. You can take it anywhere in your program. However, I find that most people take it at the end of their program. The next section is learning outcomes. All the different odds and ends and the complete package of what we want you to take away from this course. But basically, we want you to become informed consumers of research. So I don't want you to just pick up an article after taking this class. I want you to be able to pick it up and dissect it and evaluate if you think it's a good piece of research or not, based on the different elements that we'll learn during this semester that are essential to good research. Right here, you'll see technology requirements. And this is basically what you need to have technologically to access this course in a manner that's not totally frustrating to you. Okay, so that just gives you the ins and outs of the hardware and the software. And this just talks about the course delivery. And the most important thing to know is that our course is asynchronous, which means we won't have any face-to-face meetings during the course. And this is probably the second or third semester that we're doing that. But now while it says asynchronous, it doesn't mean you can just turn in all of your work at the end of this semester. We will have bi-weekly deadlines. So twice a week, you'll have things you need to submit. And you do need to stick to those deadlines to get full credit for your assignments. So this part also says we'll be using different tools like discussion boards, wikis, learning modules, and Blackboard Collaborate. So it gives you an overview of what we'll be using in this course. This next section of the schedule is super important because it tells you what we'll be doing during each learning module. And as you see, if you scroll down, there's 15 learning modules. And we do have the Monday off for 4th of July. So just keep that in mind that I won't assign a learning module to be due that day, which is, I think, good for everybody. Here is the date typically when the learning module will be assigned. Okay, so when it gives you the date, that's what learning module will be posted for that day. Here on the right-hand side are what is due. And you'll notice our first class meeting, nothing is due. But then after that, every module will have something due. So when it says Thursday, June 9th, that's when you're submitting, or you should submit by that time to the introduction forum. And on Monday, June 12th, that means by that time, you need to have completed the city training, read chapter 3, done the literature search scavenger hunt, and posted your research topic. So the first assignment is a reading and an introduction forum posting, but the second group of assignments, which will actually be due really at the end of our first week, are several items. So the one thing about taking this as a summer course is there's quite a lot to be done in a short period of time, so it's important to stay on top of things. Again, this middle column is what's being covered during that module being assigned on that date. So on the far left is the date that the module is being assigned, and the things in the right-hand column are the things due on that date. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, just let me know. This section kind of gives you an overview of the assignments in this course. You'll see a lot is connected to the points you earn each week for participation in the modules, 90 points. And you'll do a variety of things for those points. It's kind of a little bit different each week. The second thing, which is not actually attached to points, but you have to complete the course, is a human subjects training module. And this training module is just to help you be prepared to work with human subjects in research to protect, people's privacy, their safety, to make sure we're doing research in a best practice manner. The other two big projects, each of them can be done either as an individual or a group project, and you'll have a chance to connect with group members. I'll show you on the discussion board. There's a place where you can connect. You can also connect by responding to one another's introduction postings on that forum, which is in a separate spot. But anyway, if you work well as an individual and you want to do that, you're welcome to. But if you want to work as a group, I completely understand. Our first major project will be our research application mini project. And basically, you'll get further direction kind of mid-semester, so kind of towards the end of June, beginning of July. And this will be designing a PowerPoint. And actually, there's some information already posted, not in the learning modules yet, but in the overview of activities, if you want to get a jump start on this. So basically, you're proposing some research you would do in theory using a PowerPoint for that proposal, but it's not actually a project that you're going to complete during this semester. The second major assignment is really a traditional research paper where you have to pull out and find and really dissect 8 to 10 intervention research studies with your group, and or as an individual if that's how you choose to work. And so basically pulling that research and writing a comprehensive paper on it. The good thing about this paper is our weekly modules will have you attack individual sections of the paper as we go. Now, one thing to note about all assignments, because I didn't mention this earlier, is let me just scroll back up here to the due dates. Every due date that you see here in Blackboard, I have to set a certain date and time. So when you see a due date, let's say for the first time when we have assignments due, you'll see a due date of Wednesday night at 11:59 p.m. So basically that's when I made something due in Blackboard, your introduction forum posting. But for every single assignment, I give you a 24-hour grace period to post for full credit. So if for some reason you can't post by Wednesday night at midnight, or what do you call it, Thursday morning, then you'll have until 11:59 on Thursday evening, basically the beginning of Friday morning, to post for full credit. So just keep that in mind. When it says June 9th, it means you can post anytime that day from 12 o'clock midnight at the beginning to 12 o'clock midnight at the other end for full credit. Okay, I don't want anybody to be confused by that. Okay, so I've gone through the major assignments. This is just the grading scale, so just keep in mind this are the points here, the percentage of the total grade, and then the ABC grades. One thing to know about this course is because it's completely online, communication needs to be very active, and I will expect you to be checking your email, going on Blackboard multiple times a week, and participating in all activities. So the last part here are really CEHD expectations. So you have things about the honor code, Office of Disability Services. If you need accommodations based on being registered with this office, you just need to let me know right away. Just responsible use of computing, that's university-wide. And then just different resources such as the CAPS, which is the counseling program, and the writing center. If I find that you do need writing help, I will recommend you to that center. So this last part of the syllabus is just basic overview information that we provide through the college on all syllabi. Now, after the syllabus and expectations, because we were in that tab, we had skipped over the Word document syllabus. The last part you'll see is just student resources. This is anything you might need when you're taking this course, whether it be technical questions or your rights and responsibilities here. This is a resource center for you. Just wanted to mention that before we jump into the course overview, because that's the next tab. In the course overview, I'm going to take it off of my view here. I give just a quick Word document that gives the nuts and bolts of the course. Then you'll see a major course assignments folder. If you click on this, it'll have in-depth information about the mini project. So what I mean by that is there's a description, there's an outline, so that's a PowerPoint outline to put your information in, and some sample PowerPoints of projects done in the past. The next thing you'll see is the final research review paper. And again, you'll have a description and an outline. And this is the paper set up in tentative APA style. So you just want to put the different sections that you're working on each week into this template. Now you might have to make some modifications as you go in the APA format, but it really is a starting place. And again, you have some paper samples, just like you had samples for the mini project. Okay, so just a few more things here to make sure we know what we're doing. Here are some essential rubrics from the course. There is one for participation in general, for the final research paper, and for the mini application project PowerPoint. And you'll notice I have a note here that weekly there'll be rubrics posted within the learning modules. So those are just basic participation things that might change from week to week, little activities. Okay, so going back here, there's also an FAQ blog. If you have a question for the good of the group, I encourage you to post it here and I'll answer it, and then anybody can access that answer in case they have the same question. Okay, because some of you might have questions. This might be your 50th online course, or it might be your first. So I know everybody is in a different place. Okay, just a few more elements to cover. We have our learning modules here. Learning modules are where you're going to find the bulk of the material of the course. So each time I post something, I will post it on Mondays and Thursdays. When I post it here, the activities for, bi-weekly, I will put them in a learning module. So go to the learning modules for nonstop shop for the class.